Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are presenting the maths problem of the week. Now last week we focused on the hours in the day and how to present them in different ways. This week we are going to focus on the days of the week, how days make up weeks and weeks make up months. Let's get started. First, let's answer the question, how many days are there in a week? Let's name the days and count along together. So, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There are 7 days in the week. If there are 7 days in 1 week, how many days are there in 2 weeks? The answer to that is 14. And regardless of how you got there, whether you did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or you noticed that 7 days in 1 week, so you can do 7 add 7, or if you did 7 multiplied by 2 or double 7, 14 days are in 2 weeks. Why am I focusing so much on 2 weeks? Well, there's a special name for 2 weeks or 14 days, and that is known as fortnights. Now, as my illustration shows, I do not mean the video game. Fortnite the video game and Fortnite 2 weeks are spelt differently in the UK. However, if you're in the US of A, they are spelt the same. Now that we've discovered that 1 week has 7 days and that 2 weeks has a special name of fortnight, let's talk about months. How many days are there in a month? Well, it depends on who you ask. If we ask a mathematician on a leap year, they would say that there are 30.5 days per month. If you ask a business person, they would say that there are 28 days in a month. And if you ask most teachers, they will likely say the phrase 30 days has September, April, June and November, all the rest have 31 except February, which has 28 days clear and 29 each leap year. Said very quickly on purpose, and I'll tell you in a moment why. But before we get into that, let's talk about why these answers are so different to the same question. Now notice how in my mathematician I said specifically on a leap year. This maths won't work in a regular year. How do we get to the answer of 30.5? Well, I had to add up all the days of each of the 12 months. There are 4 sets of 30, there are 7 sets of 31, and there is 1 set of 29 in a leap year. Adding that all together gives you 366, and when you divide that by 12, how you would get the mean average, you get the answer of 30.5. So that's why our mathematician may say that a month has 30.5 days. Now let's talk about our business person. Why have they said 28 days? 28 is much lower than how many days are in most months. Well, if I told you it's because 4 weeks is much easier to work with in business than it is to say calendar months, that's why. 28 days is exactly 4 weeks. So in business, likely when you're told, I would like this done in a month, they would like it done in 4 weeks rather than a calendar month. If I asked you to do something in a month's time, I would more likely want you to have it completed by the 22nd of October, 1 calendar month in the future. But our business person here would want it on the 20th of October, exactly 4 weeks today. Now let's go back to our very long confusing phrase that teachers will very likely say often. 30 days has September, April, June and November, all the rest have 31 except February, which has 28 days clear and 29 each leap year. Who do we have to thank for that? We can thank Pope Gregory XIII for the current calendar that we use. Before we use the calendar that we use today, the Gregorian calendar, we used to use the Julian calendar. But over the course of centuries, the Julian calendar didn't really match up with the seasons that it was meant to. So, Pope Gregory XIII made a new calendar, so that all the seasons would fall at the exact same time each year. Now, why is February so special? It can have 1 set of days 1 year, another set of days another year. Well, that's more to do with how our Earth revolves around the Sun. It takes our Earth 365.25 days to do 1 full revolution. But instead of injecting a random quarter day at some point in the year, we decided that we will take 4 full revolutions, 4 quarters, and make that 1 extra day that we put at the end of February. And that's why we have the ever popular phrase, 30 days has September, April, June and November, all the rest have 31 except February, which is 28 days clear and 29 each leap year. Now, that was a lot of information to take in. I understand that, but don't worry. All the information that you will need is on the board. And this week, what I would like you to do is the following. In our mild problem, I would like you to tell me how many days there are in 2 fortnights and 3 weeks. In our medium problem, I would like you to tell me how many days there are in 1 business month, 5 weeks, 3 fortnights and 4 days. And in our hot problem, I would like you to tell me how many days there are in 2 mathematician months, 2 business months, 5 fortnights, 1 week and 17 days. And that's it. Now, I will leave a close-up version of the problem so you can pause, take your time and complete the level or levels of challenge that you would like, but I'll be back in a moment with the solutions. So you have paused, you have taken your time and completed the level or levels of challenge that you wanted to. Now, let's go over the solutions, starting with our mild problem. So for our mild problem, I found it easier to figure out how many weeks there were and then multiply that number by 7. Because if 1 week has 7 days, however many weeks our first problem has, that times 7 will be how many days that has. So, what do we need to do? Well, we know that 3 weeks is 3 weeks, but we need to figure out how many weeks are in 2 fortnights. Do we remember how long 1 fortnight is? 2 weeks. So 2 of them is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 times 7 is 49, which is the answer to our mild problem. How did you get on? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be back in a moment with our medium solution. Thank you very much, mild solution Grant. Here is your medium solution. Now, for our medium and our hot problem, it's actually not wise to try and figure out how many weeks there are and multiply that by 7 because we don't get an exact number of weeks, so we'd be working in decimals and it'd be far too difficult. What's easier is to figure out how many days each section is and then add all those numbers all together. So, in our medium problem, we have to start with 1 business month, which we know is 28 days. Then we have to look at 5 weeks. How do we figure out how many days are in 5 weeks? Well, we can multiply the number 5 by 7 because we know that 1 week has 7 days. So 5 times 7 is 35. So we have 28 for the 1 business month, 35 for our 5 weeks. Now let's move on to our 3 fortnights. You could do this one of 2 ways. You could take the number 14, the number of days in a fortnight, and multiply that by 3, or you could double that number of 3 fortnights to be 6 weeks and multiply 6 by 7. 3 times 14 or 6 times 7 gets you an answer of 42. So we have 28 days for the business month, 35 days for the 5 weeks, and 42 days for the 3 fortnights. And then we need to add on 4 more days to all of that. Adding 28, 35, 42 and 4 gets you a total answer of 109 days. How did you get on? Did you get to the answer the same way that I did? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be back in a moment with your hot solution. Thank you very much, medium solution Grant. Here is your hot solution. Now, like I said before, it's much easier to figure out how many days each section has and then add those numbers all together. So let's get started, starting with our mathematician month. This becomes more difficult because we have to also work with fractions, but I deliberately gave you 2 months so that it would cancel the fractions out. When we multiply 30.5, our mathematician month, by 2, we get an answer of 61. Another way we could figure that out is by doing 30 plus 30 to get 60, and a half plus a half to get 1. 60 plus 1 gives us 61. Then let's look at our 2 business months. We would need to add 28 and 28 together, or 28 times 2, and that gives us an answer of 56. So we have 61 for the mathematician months, 56 for our business months, Now let's look at our fortnights. We need to figure out how many days are in 5 fortnights. Now, it's actually much easier to split that down to say 10 weeks instead of 5 fortnights. The multiplication 14 times 5 is much harder than the multiplication 7 times 10. Both of those give you an answer of 70. So again, 61 days for our mathematician months, 56 days for our business months, 70 days for our fortnights. We then need to add 1 week, which is 7 days, and then 17 days on top of that. When you add all those numbers together, 61, 56, 70, 7 and 17, we get a total answer of 211. How did you get on? Let me know in the comments below. Also let me know if you use the same method as me. If you do enjoy these videos, be sure to react to them on Facebook, or if you're watching me on YouTube, give them a big old like. And also be sure to share them so that we can spread this maths knowledge to everyone. Now, until next time, take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!